Good evening. Imagine a place where the wind speaks louder than any voice and the sea swallows not only men, but their very footprints. Tonight, I shall guide you across stormy waters to a desolate outpost on the edge of the world, the Flannan Isles. In the winter of 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers vanished from this lonely rock. No bodies, no clues, only silence, and a diary that hinted at something far more disturbing than mere misfortune. What happened on Isle Moor? Was it madness? A tempest? Or did something ancient and unseen rise from the waves to claim them? Make yourself comfortable, for the light has gone out and darkness awaits. I'm Sebastian, your host, and this is From Beyond.
Imagine a sentinel, a solitary tower of stone and light, standing defiant against the relentless fury of the North Atlantic. For centuries, these beacons have guided mariners through treacherous waters, their constant glow a promise of safety amidst the storm. But what if one day that light simply vanished? And what if, along with it, the very souls tasked with its keeping disappeared without a trace? No bodies, no definitive answers, just an enduring, chilling enigma. Welcome to the enduring mystery of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse, a tale that has haunted the annals of maritime history for over a century. Our story begins in the bleak, unforgiving winter of 1900. The setting, the remote and desolate Flannan Isles, a small, uninhabited archipelago of rocky outcrops and sheer cliffs, lying approximately 20 miles west of the Isle of Lewis, in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. These islands, known locally as the Seven Hunters, were notorious for their treacherous currents and unpredictable weather, a graveyard for countless ships. It was precisely because of this danger that the Northern Lighthouse Board embarked on an ambitious project to construct a formidable lighthouse on Isle Moor, the largest of the Flannan Isles. Completed in 1899, the Flannan Isles Lighthouse was a marvel of late Victorian engineering, a towering testament to human ingenuity against the raw power of nature. Its purpose was clear: to cast a guiding light across one of the most perilous stretches of ocean, protecting lives and livelihoods. But even the most robust structures and the most seasoned men can fall prey to the inexplicable. Manning such an isolated outpost was a profession reserved for a specific breed of man, resilient, self-reliant, and accustomed to profound solitude. The routine was rigorous, demanding constant vigilance. The keepers were responsible for maintaining the lamp, winding the clockwork mechanism that rotated the lens, recording weather observations, and ensuring the light never failed. It was a life of quiet dedication, punctuated by the roar of the ocean and the occasional visit from a supply vessel. For the fateful shift in December 1900, the crew consisted of 3 principal keepers: James Duckett, a veteran keeper with over 20 years of experience, known for his meticulous nature; Thomas Marshall, a second assistant keeper, a steady and reliable man; and Donald MacArthur, the third assistant keeper, a relief man known for his fiery temper, but also his deep devotion to his duties. A fourth man, Joseph Moore, was the relief keeper, awaiting his turn to rotate in. These were not novices. They were experienced professionals, intimately familiar with the dangers and demands of their lonely vigil. The first ominous hint that something was amiss came on December 15th, 1900. The steamship Archton, en route from Philadelphia to Leith, passed the Flannan Isles in the dead of night. Captain Holman, peering through the gloom, noticed something profoundly disturbing. The powerful beam of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse, a light he expected to see, was absent. The lamp, designed to pierce through the darkest storms, was dark. Holman, a seasoned sailor, knew this was highly irregular, a grave cause for concern. Upon reaching his destination in Leith, he immediately reported the anomaly to the Northern Lighthouse Board. However, due to the prevailing severe weather conditions, no immediate action could be taken. The sea was too rough, the winds too fierce to dispatch a relief vessel. For days, the lighthouse remained a silent, unlit sentinel, its absence a chilling premonition of the events to unfold. The wait must have been agonizing for those aware of the situation, knowing that 3 men were out there, isolated and potentially in distress. A week later, on December 26th, the Northern Lighthouse Board's relief vessel, the Hesperus, finally managed to brave the tempestuous seas and reach the Flannan Isles. On board was Joseph Moore, the relief keeper, eager to take his turn and relieve his colleagues. As the Hesperus approached Island Moore, an unsettling silence hung in the air. There was no welcoming signal flag. No figures emerged from the lighthouse to greet them. The usual preparations for a transfer of duties were conspicuously absent. A profound sense of unease settled over Moore and the crew. Moore, accompanied by a small landing party, was rowed ashore. The climb up the steep, slippery steps to the lighthouse entrance was usually met with cheerful greetings. This time, only the mournful cry of seabirds echoed around them. The silence was not merely the absence of sound, it was the heavy, suffocating silence of something terribly wrong. Cautiously, Joseph Moore pushed open the lighthouse door. It was unlocked, a minor detail that would later become a point of contention. Inside, the scene was one of suspended animation, a tableau of everyday life abruptly interrupted. The kitchen table was set for a meal, plates of cold food still sitting there, untouched. A chair lay overturned on the floor as if someone had risen in haste or been knocked over. 2 of the 3 oilskin coats, essential protection against the harsh elements, were missing from their pegs, suggesting 2 men had ventured outside, but why only 2? And where was the 3rd man's coat? The lighthouse logbook, a meticulous record of daily events, offered no immediate clues, save for a few puzzling entries about severe storms in the days leading up to the disappearance. The beds in the sleeping quarters were found in various states, one neatly made, another dishevelled, as if someone had just left it, and the 3rd untouched. The clock in the living quarters had stopped. Every detail, no matter how small, seemed to deepen the mystery rather than illuminate it. The lamp, the very heart of the lighthouse, was clean and ready for use, but unlit. It was as if the keepers had simply vanished into thin air, leaving behind only questions. The alarm was raised and a full investigation was launched by Robert Muirhead, the superintendent of the Northern Lighthouse Board, who arrived on the Hesperus shortly after the initial discovery. Muirhead, a man intimately familiar with the workings of lighthouses and the men who manned them, conducted a thorough search of the island. He found no bodies, no signs of struggle, no notes, no indication of foul play beyond the unsettling disarray inside the lighthouse. His official report concluded that the men had likely been swept away by an unusually large wave, a rogue wave, while attempting to secure equipment on the western landing platform, which had been severely damaged by recent storms. This theory, while plausible given the island's exposed location and the ferocity of Atlantic gales, still left many questions unanswered. Why would all 3 men be outside during a storm, especially if one of them was supposed to be tending the lamp? Why was the door left unlocked? And why was one man's oilskin coat still inside? The official explanation, while providing a convenient closure, failed to fully satisfy the public's appetite for a more dramatic or at least more complete resolution. Another theory is the foul play murder-suicide. This darker theory suggests a violent altercation among the keepers. Given Donald MacArthur's known volatile temper, some speculated that he might have snapped, murdered his colleagues, and then either committed suicide by jumping into the sea or was himself swept away. The overturned chair could be a sign of a struggle. However, there was no evidence of blood, no weapon, and no signs of a prolonged fight. The men were experienced and professional. Such a breakdown, while not impossible, seemed unlikely without further evidence. As with many unsolved mysteries, the supernatural quickly entered the narrative with paranormal explanations. Tales of sea monsters, ghostly apparitions, or even alien abduction gained traction in popular culture. The remote, eerie setting of the Flannan Isles lent itself perfectly to such fantastical interpretations. While intriguing, these theories lack any tangible evidence and are generally dismissed by serious investigators. Another theory, less common but still discussed, posits that the keepers encountered smugglers or foreign agents who silenced them to prevent their activities from being reported. The unlocked door could be seen as evidence of an unexpected visitor. However, the Flannan Isles were too isolated and barren to be a regular smuggling route, and there was no geopolitical context at the time to suggest such an elaborate plot. The accidental fall or rescue attempt is another theory. Perhaps one man was swept away by a wave or fell from the cliffs, and the other two, in a desperate attempt to rescue him, met the same fate. This aligns with the missing oilskins and the urgency implied by the untouched meal. However, it still doesn't fully explain why all three would have been in such a vulnerable position simultaneously. The Flannan Isles mystery, despite the official conclusion, has never truly been laid to rest. It has permeated popular culture, inspiring poems, songs, books, and films. Wilfred Wilson Gibson's poem, Flannan Isle, 1912, vividly captured the eerie atmosphere and the unanswered questions, cementing the story in the public imagination. The sheer isolation of the setting, combined with the inexplicable disappearance of three experienced men, taps into our deepest fears of the unknown and the overwhelming power of nature. The lighthouse, now automated and no longer requiring human keepers, stands as a silent monument to the vanished men, its light still piercing the darkness, but its secrets remaining stubbornly unrevealed. It serves as a stark reminder that even in an age of scientific advancement, some enigmas refuse to yield their truths. What truly transpired on Island Moor that fateful December night? Was it a monstrous wave, a tragic accident, or something far more sinister? The Flannan Isles Lighthouse continues to guard its secrets, a chilling testament to a mystery that remains, to this day, utterly unsolved. I have told you what I know. Whether you believe it or not is entirely up to you. We invite you to share your theories in the comments below, and if you're captivated by the unexplained, be sure to subscribe for more journeys into the depths of history's most compelling enigmas.
And so, the light of Island Moor fades once more. The wind still whispers through the empty lighthouse, and the sea keeps her secrets well. Three men vanished without a trace, but their absence continues to echo through the ages. Thank you for joining me tonight, as we wandered into yet another shadowed corner of the unknown. Until next time, stay curious, stay watchful, and as always, beware the fog.